We've all loved this song that Monica Oh My Darling is, but now it's time to watch the movie that Netflix has for us. Hi guys, we have today with us Sikander Kher, Rajkummar Rao, Radhika Apte and Akansha Ranjan in conversation with me, Sanchita. Hi guys, how are you all doing?
Very good, thank you.
You not so much. Please take care.
He's never been better. Actually, I've never seen him look so fresh.
I hope you get better only here on. Okay, first things first, I want to understand from all of y'all, how like even after all this time, y'all all have had web releases, right? Y'all all had movie releases. So is there any difference when it comes to the excitement, the nervousness when it comes to a web release versus a theatre release? What is the difference if there's any?
I wouldn't know.
I think the little anxiety of that Friday, the first day box office figures and all, that is not there. But I think if you, that's the only difference, I guess, apart from that.
Does it make it less nerve-wracking?
It does, yeah, to be honest, yeah.
How about you?
I've never had a film in the theatres that dependent on me. The success dependent on me, really. So I've never felt nervous, really.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. I've never had that stress, though, to be honest. And yeah, I mean, I always want them to do well so that you get more work. That's it.
Right. The genre that we are dealing with here is something that is really working well with the audiences right now, right? So two things. One, what would you say makes this one different from, you know, the pool of films and shows in this genre that already exist? And number two, what about the script made you say yes to these roles that you've taken up?
All or Monica?
Yeah, this role that you've taken up. Like these roles for each one of you. That's why plural.
I think for me, I kind of said yes before I read the script because Vasan sir called me. I worked with him before. So it was a no-brainer when he called me, and of course I knew it's Netflix again. I think at the time Raj and Radhika were on board already. So it was really a no-brainer. There was like no question. I knew I wanted to do it. I knew I wanted to work with him. And then when I read it, I was like, oh wow, yeah. Like double. The role is cool, you know, Sriram sir and, you know, Matchbox is involved, which is even cooler. So I think for a new actor, this is kind of a dream setup in many ways. So I'd be silly to not jump on board.
No, basically, I thought it was I was aware of the story earlier, but Vasan had given it a very different twist. They said that he had added humor to it and made it his own, which was very Vasan and unique, hence unique. So that's what I think attracted me. And this nobody would have cast me for a part like this, you know. So I was so excited to and felt challenged also.
For me, it was the story and Vasan, to get a chance to work with Vasan. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to work with Vasan. Then I got to know that we have a cast that's so amazing. So I think it's just the want for any actor. And the script was just amazing. Yeah, it was just a beautiful culmination of all these things together. I mean, I say thank you every day that I got to be a part of this, to be honest. I was lucky. You luck out sometimes, no? I lucked out on this one.
All right. Radhika, you know, like you mentioned, that this is not something that someone would have cast you in ideally, and I've just seen the movie last night. So this was a question that I actually had, that, you know, this is a role which is very different. This is something we've not seen you do, and we've seen you do a vast variety of things. So when you take up something like this, what is the kind of thought process, you know, that goes into, like, is it like, you know, I need to continue building up my diverse range of characters? Is it more like I want to continue experimenting? Or especially because this is the web space, it feels like a safe space to, you know, do everything that you ideally probably wouldn't?
And now the three thoughts came to me when I took that role. I just took it because it was different and made me quite excited. But I also was very scared. And I told Vasan that, are you sure you're going to cast me? Because I don't know if I'll pull it off or what if I fail. But because Vasan made me feel very safe and he had faith that, you know, it'll work fine. That helps a lot. But I didn't really think about how I need to be diverse or about the platform or these thoughts didn't come to me. But having said that, yes, I'm always looking for more different challenges, different paths, things that I've not done before, because otherwise it's no fun in doing the same thing over and over again. So Yeah.
Got it. Raj, also for you, you know, again, you've also done a vast variety of roles, different characters, everything that's there. For you as an actor, at this point in your career, how do you look at picking films in the setup, you know, where there are, you know, desi masala entertainers versus, you know, a film that would probably be critically acclaimed? So how do you keep a balance, or what is your preference in picking films?
No, I don't really calculate so much in my head. I don't do films for reasons कि ये critical acclaim के लिए है और ये public के लिए. I do them for myself because I like them. I want to be a part of them. I like the story. It's offering me something new to do. That's the only criteria. I don't really, never really calculated. Like when we made 3, we didn't make it thinking it's gonna be such a huge box office success. We made it because we all liked the story and we had fun on set making it.
Right, got it. Akansha, for you, you know, from Guilty to a Ray to now a Monica, My Darling, again, three projects, but they've had their own set of range. So how do you look at your journey in hindsight as such, and how do you see your journey go ahead forward?
It's barely hindsight. It just happened. Like through the lockdown, these two happened. So yeah, long way to go. I've literally just started. I'm grateful for what I've got. You know, because after Guilty, you think that, oh, life's going to change. I was like, I'm going to be busy forever. And then cut to in 3 days, I was sitting at home for 6 months, 7 months, you know. So, and then Ray happened, like in the peak of the pandemic, we managed to shoot 7, 8 days, came back, and then this happened. So it's really been, it's been slow because of the pandemic, but I'm grateful that I've got the opportunities. I know I have miles to go before I sleep. There's lots I want to do. But I'm really happy that I'm doing stuff where, like, I think I'm just taken seriously. I guess that was my only aim, that I got this opportunity after like 6, 7 years of trying, like Guilty. So it was like, I knew I had to give it everything and do my all, so that, because I'm not going to get the second chance. So I guess that's what I'm trying to do, to make a mark and like do something that people take me seriously and believe in me as an actor.
Of course. To all of you, this question would be to, you know, we've been constantly seeing multi-starrer projects coming our way, and everyone's loving all of those things, you know, in contrast to how people have always believed that there has to be a hero and a heroine and the typical setup we have. To, you know, to be able to stand out in such projects where you have, you know, multiple people around you, how does that, you know, how is the process of working yourself through it for y'all? And to, you know, of course, you need your co-stars' support as well. So how do you work through it when it comes to such projects?
I think when in an ensemble, it's not about upping at the other person, you know. It's just about doing your own part well. An actor, I think, really needs to know whose scene, who does this scene belong to, or what is the scene trying to do, rather than trying to make an impression in the scene. Because there is a reason why the scene exists, and that needs to be given priority. And I think very rarely you come across a group of people where everybody is actually in sync with that. And I think, I'm probably speaking on behalf of us, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we were a bunch of people who, nobody was greedy and selfish, everybody was listening, collaborating. Not that I've had a scene with everybody, but I've seen the film and I feel that that is the best thing. And I think it does depend on your director.
Yeah.
You know, it does depend on your director who has the freedom also and the ability to direct a bunch of actors together. And any film actually is an ensemble. And I think it's now changing because a lot of people are taking up different roles. Earlier, they all wanted to play the one protagonist, right? Now, everybody's taking all kinds of roles, which is why we are getting these interesting ensembles also.
Anything you all would want to add?
100% agree with her. Just as someone, weirdly, whatever the 3 films I've done has had 3, 4 people, you know, who worked more than me. So, like, I think even it matters on your co-actors to make you feel like good, which I've Touchwood had and Monica has for sure. So, like, you know, be it Ki or even Radhika, Madan, Harish, and these guys, like, I think at least for someone who's the most nascent to walk into the set when there are people who are working, the fact that they can and do make you feel comfortable, I think that's such a, like, a blessing, because you can feel out of sorts or like, where am I amongst these people, you know? So yeah, Touchwood, we've had that on Monica for sure.
I think you're working for your co-actors only, because it's not like I've done films like Trapped, which is all about this guy, but this is a film about humans. You know, you're interacting with someone always, most of the times. So it's never about only doing it for yourself. You're doing it for your co-actor, because you both belong You both are there in that scene. So I think it's important to just take everyone along.
Yeah, no, they've all three said exactly. There's nothing left for me to say, to be honest. I mean, honestly, what he said is so true. You're working off each other's energy. I mean, of course, if you work long enough, you've come across very selfish people who do try to steal or try to take a scene, even though, whatever. But then if the director is the one that actually is the one that calls it,
Yeah.
I mean, he should call it a cut or go up to the person and say, in the best way possible, because actors are fragile in that way. So even the person who is trying to be a little selfish, he must be going through his own kind of insecurity, which is something that needs to be dealt with kid gloves, and it will bother you sometimes also, but at the end of the day, you read the script, you know what you're supposed to do, and you're doing it with each other, man. The more collaborative and awesome it is, the better the scene is. I've seen that with Shah Rukh Khan, how he gives it away. Generosity. Generous actors are confident about themselves, and they'll give it. And then, because they know exactly why the scene is working. Otherwise, you'll ruin a scene, and then eventually you'll end up ruining a film.
Right. Right, got it. Last question for all of y'all. We know that we live in a day and age where everyone's got opinions and everyone's got stuff to say on the internet, right? So two things. Number one is how much of yourself do you read on the internet in the first place, like from critics or from fans or from colleagues, however it might be. And number two, if and when any kind of trolling happens for a character or for a film or something that you said, how is it that you deal with it?
I never read anything, so I don't have to deal with it. I mean, I don't never come across dealing with it. I actually genuinely don't know anything. I don't read anything about myself.
I've stopped reading reviews, so yeah. Hardly one or two.
Yeah, I think I just started, so I start like after Guilty pandemic, all I've done is YouTube mein Google Guilty and read every bloody review. But then yeah, people can, like Raj said previously, can be really personal and mean, and they're doing it for kicks, right? So that's when I guess what to read. Like if I'll read my own pics comments if I have to, but I know I won't read like a Reddit post. So you don't want to be deluded, but you don't want to get extra information which is not going to benefit your life by any means. And rightly so, I don't think anyone really cares about mean people, because you know what's good, what's bad.
Yeah,
like,
true.
Yeah.
They're trolls, and the people who get nasty, I actually feel for them. I hope they get healed.
I know, I swear.
Those really nasty people, and it gets worse and worse the more famous or the more jitna aur naam kamaya apne liye वगैरह. I've seen it personally. I know what people write. I feel for them, because just imagine what that poor person must be going through, that they're sitting behind something and typing. वो शक्ल भी नहीं दिखा। हाँ, और मतलब क्या-क्या लिखते हैं लोगों के बच्चों के बारे में लिखते हैं, इसके बारे में लिखते हैं। I feel that they must be going through so much of pain, and there's so much inside them that it's coming out like this. So I hope that they find peace here for their sake.
Got it. I think that was that from me. Thank you so much, guys. The movie is looking lovely. Hoping it gets good reviews.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you. This is me signing off.